A high school kid just did the impossible. In one single night, McCallum stepped onto the track and completely destroyed everyone who thought they were fast. While most teenagers are worried about homework and prom, this 18-year-old from Texas just ran times that would make Olympic champions jealous. It's a warm evening, and the crowd is in excitement. Nobody knew they were about to witness history. McCallum, still just a high school senior, lines up for the 100 meters. Bang! The gun fires, and he explodes out of the blocks like a rocket. 9.87 seconds later, jaws are on the ground. But that's not even the crazy part. Just hours later, the same kid steps back onto the track for the 200 meters. This time, he doesn't just win. He doesn't just break records. He runs 19.73 seconds and leaves the entire field looking like they're running in slow motion. That's not just fast. That's world-leading fast. That's the kind of time that makes professional sprinters question their life choices. McCallum isn't some overnight sensation who just picked up spikes yesterday. This young man has been grinding, perfecting his craft, and building toward this moment for years. Born and raised in Texas, he's been turning heads on high school tracks across the state. But nobody, and I mean nobody, saw this coming. At 18 years old, McCallum has that rare combination of natural speed and technical precision that coaches dream about. He's got the build of a sprinter, tall, lean, with the kind of explosive power that can't be taught. But more than that, he's got the mindset of a champion, the kind of calm confidence that lets him perform when the lights are brightest. His coaches always knew he was special. In practice, he'd hit times that made them double-check their stopwatches. In meets, he'd win by margins that seemed unfair. But even they couldn't have predicted what happened on this magical night. The meet started like any other. Warm-ups, stretching, the usual pre-race routines. But there was something different about McCallum that night. His coach later said he had a look in his eyes, the kind of focus that separates good athletes from great ones. First up was the 100 meters. McCallum settled into the blocks, took a deep breath, and waited for the gun. When it fired, he shot out like he'd been launched from a cannon. His start was perfect, low, powerful, driving forward with every muscle fiber firing in perfect coordination. The first 50 meters were all about acceleration, and McCallum nailed it. His transition to top speed was seamless, like watching a sports car shift gears. By 60 meters, he was already pulling away from the field. The crowd started to realize they were watching something special. At the 80-meter mark, it wasn't even close. McCallum was flying down the track with a smoothness that made it look effortless. His form was textbook perfect, arms pumping in rhythm, knees driving high, every stride covering maximum ground with minimal effort. When he crossed the finish line, the scoreboard told the story. 9.87 seconds. Wind-aided, sure, but still jaw-dropping fast. The crowd erupted. His competitors looked shocked. His coach was jumping up and down like he'd won the lottery. But McCallum, he just nodded and started preparing for the 200 meters. Like running sub 10 seconds was just another day at the office. If the 100 meters was impressive, the 200 meters was pure magic. This is where McCallum truly announced himself to the world. The 200 is a different beast entirely. It's about speed, sure, but it's also about strategy, endurance, and the ability to maintain that blazing pace around a curve. McCallum drew lane 4 right in the thick of the action. Perfect position to see the field and make his moves. As he settled into the blocks, you could feel the anticipation building. Everyone knew they were about to witness something special. The gun fired, and McCallum came out of the blocks like he was shot from a cannon. His acceleration phase was even better than in the 100. By the time he hit the curve, he was already moving away from the field. But this is where the 200 meters gets interesting. It's not just about the first 100 meters, it's about what you do in the back half. Coming off the curve, McCallum was in full flight. His stride length was incredible, each step covering nearly 8 feet of track. His turnover was lightning quick, but still under perfect control. He looked like he was floating above the track while everyone else was pounding the pavement. At the 150-meter mark, the race was over. McCallum had opened up a gap so wide it looked like he was running in a different event. His form remained perfect. Relaxed shoulders, smooth arm action, and those long, powerful strides eating up the track. The final 50 meters weren't even competitive. McCallum was in a league of his own, pulling away from world-class sprinters like they were standing still. When he crossed the line, the clock told a story that seemed impossible. 19.73 seconds. Let's put this in perspective. 19.73 seconds in the 200 meters is world-leading time. That means McCallum, a high school senior from Texas, ran faster than any professional sprinter in the world had run up to that point in the season. To understand how fast 19.73 really is, consider this. The world record is 19.19, set by Usain Bolt. McCallum's time puts him just over half a second behind the greatest sprinter of all time. As a high schooler, that's not just impressive, that's historically significant. His average speed over 200 meters was over 23 miles per hour. Try driving 23 miles per hour in your car and imagine maintaining that speed using just your legs for 200 meters while running perfect form around a curve. It's almost superhuman. The wind-aided 9.87 in the 100 meters is equally mind-blowing. Even with wind assistance, that's a time that would have won Olympic medals in previous decades. It shows that McCallum has a raw speed to compete with anyone in the world. The track and field world exploded. Social media went crazy. Coaches, athletes, and fans couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. Here was a high school kid running times that professional athletes train their entire lives to achieve. Track analysts immediately started making comparisons to sprinting legends. Some called it the most impressive high school performance ever. Others wondered if they were looking at the future of American sprinting. The consensus was clear. Tamars McCallum had just announced himself as a serious player on the global stage. College coaches who had been recruiting him suddenly realized they weren't just looking at a talented high schooler. They were looking at a potential Olympic champion. Professional agents started making calls. Shoe companies started paying attention. So what separates McCallum from other fast high school sprinters? It's not just the times, though. Those are obviously spectacular. It's the way he runs them. His technique is flawless. Every movement is efficient and purposeful. He doesn't waste energy on unnecessary motion. His starts are explosive but controlled. His transitions are smooth. His finishing speed is devastating. But beyond the technical aspects, it's his mental approach that sets him apart. He runs with a confidence that's rare in athletes twice his age. He doesn't get rattled by pressure. He doesn't let big moments overwhelm him. He just runs his race and lets his speed do the talking. His work ethic is legendary among those who know him. He's always the first to arrive at practice and the last to leave. He studies video of his races obsessively, looking for tiny improvements. He treats every training session like it's the most important race of his life. At just 18 years old, McCallum has already run times that most sprinters never achieve in their entire careers. The question now isn't whether he'll make it to the Olympics. It's how many medals he'll win when he gets there. The scary thing, he's just getting started. Most sprinters don't hit their peak until their mid-20s. McCallum has 6 or 7 years to get even faster. If he can shave just a few tenths off his current times, he'll be challenging world records. Tamars McCallum's performance wasn't just about breaking records or winning races. It was a statement that American sprinting has found its next superstar. In one magical night, McCallum ran times that humiliated professionals and rewrote record books. He proved that greatness can't be contained by age or experience. Sometimes it just explodes when you least expect it. McCallum didn't just run fast times, he ran times that changed everything and announced a new era in American sprinting. And the best part? This is just the beginning.
Second time of asking, keep an eye on Cameron Daly out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Track explosion, her club, and that is exactly what we're seeing here. 11:39. Talk about setting the bar. That is a huge run from Cameron Daly, 11:39.
She's only 13, but Cameron Daly just crushed 2 world records in 5 days, leaving the track world stunned. With a blistering 11.39 in the 100 meters and an unreal 22.92 in the 200 meters, she's being hailed as the next FloJo, and coaches are already whispering Olympics. This isn't hype, it's history in the making. Meet Cameron Daly, the sprinting sensation from Track Explosion Elite Club, who has turned the track and field world upside down. At the 2025 New Balance Outdoor Nationals, this middle schooler put on a brilliant performance. The buzz started when a track and field fan posted on social media just 3 days before her breakthrough performance. She moves like FloJo. This comparison seemed impossible, considering Florence Griffith Joyner's legendary records of 10.49 seconds in the 100 meters and 21.34 seconds in the 200 meters from 1988 still stand unchallenged after 37 years. The moment Cameron Daly stepped onto the track for the middle school girls' 100-meter prelims, it became clear this wasn't just another young athlete testing her speed. This was history in the making. The clock stopped at a jaw-dropping 11.39 seconds with a legal plus 1.6 meters per second wind at her back. Daly didn't just win, she demolished records. She shattered the meet record of 11.87 seconds set by Parker Coase in 2024 and crushed the world best for 13-year-olds, previously held by Melanie Doggett at 11.53 seconds. But Daly wasn't finished. In the final, she blazed down the track in 11.35 seconds. While wind dated at plus 2.5 meters per second, the message was loud and clear. This wasn't a fluke. Cameron Daly had arrived, and she was just getting started. 5 days later, on June 22nd, Cameron Daly delivered another masterclass in the girls' 200-meter middle school final. With what appeared to be an effortless stride, she crossed the finish line in a staggering 22.92 seconds with a plus 1.7 meters per second wind reading. This mark wasn't just fast, it was a new age group world best. Daly's time would have earned her second place in the championship girls final and ranked her third nationally among high school athletes. Her closest competitor, Maya Arundel, trailed by a notable 0.29 seconds. The 13-year-old had now claimed 2 track and field world records in just 5 days. Following Cameron Daly's electrifying final day performance, the official X account of HBCU Track and Field summed it up perfectly. "This is unreal. To compete in 2 different events over 4 days and set world records in both requires extraordinary talent, stamina, and focus." Daly's brilliance extends far beyond just the nationals. The sprinting prodigy has been making waves throughout the season. Just 2 weeks prior to her 100-meter breakthrough, she stunned the community with a 51.67 in the 400-meter, establishing a new national middle school record for her age group. Her progression in the 200 meters has been equally jaw-dropping. Back in January at the 2025 VA Showcase, Daly clocked a solid 23.76 seconds. By May, she had slashed nearly a full second off that time, recording an incredible 22.90 seconds. This represents a progression that would be impressive for any elite sprinter, but for a 13-year-old, these performances are nothing short of sensational. In just 3 weeks, Cameron Daly has scorched through the 100 meters, 200 meters, and 400 meters, setting records in all 3 events. The track and field world has responded with a mixture of shock and excitement. 22.9 at 13 years old is diabolical, one stunned track and field fan posted on social media. Another fan wrote, "Farther down the line, but this girl ran an 11.300 and a 22.9200 at 13 years old. Insane! Early days, but a dark horse to be a high school athlete on the 2028 U.S. Olympic team." This Olympic speculation isn't just hype, it's becoming a genuine conversation. If Daly makes that leap to the 2028 Olympics, she could find herself in the same historic conversation as Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, who in 2016 became the youngest American track and field athlete to qualify for the Olympics since the 1980 U.S. boycott. One post captured the growing attention coaches all around the country are looking at this young lady. Another fan expressed what many are feeling. "I'm so excited to watch her grow. The comparisons to Florence Griffith Joyner carry extraordinary weight when you understand FloJo's complete dominance of women's sprinting." Born Florence Dolores Griffith on December 21, 1959, in Los Angeles, she grew up as the 7th of 11 children in the Watts section of the city. Like Daly, Griffith Joyner showed early promise, joining the Sugar Ray Robinson organization as an elementary school student and winning the Jesse Owens National Youth Games at ages 14 and 15. Her athletic journey took her through California State University, Northridge, and UCLA, where she qualified for the 1980 Olympics in the 100 meters, but couldn't compete due to the U.S. boycott of the Moscow Games. Florence Griffith Joyner's path to immortality began at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, where she won silver in the 200 meters, but it was at the 1988 U.S. Olympic trials where she achieved the impossible. In the 100-meter quarterfinals, she stunned the track world by running 10.49 seconds, breaking the world record by a massive 0.27 seconds. Over the 2-day trials, she recorded the 3 fastest 100-meter times in women's history: 10.49, 10.70, and 10.61 seconds. At the Seoul Olympics, FloJo dominated completely, winning the 100-meter final in 10.54 seconds by a margin of 0.30 seconds. and setting the 200-meter world record of 21.34 seconds that remains untouchable 37 years later. She left Seoul with 3 gold medals and 1 silver, becoming the fastest woman ever recorded. What made Florence Griffith Joyner legendary wasn't just her speed, it was her complete transformation of what a sprinter could be. She revolutionized track fashion with her hooded speed skating bodysuits, her signature one-legger running outfit with lime green and purple colors, and her famous 6-inch nails painted red, white, blue, and gold for the Olympics. While critics questioned her unconventional style, FloJo responded with confidence, "It doesn't matter what you wear, it's what you believe you could do." Her dramatic improvement from 10.96 seconds in 1987 to 10.49 seconds in 1988 sparked controversy and allegations, but she passed every drug test and was subjected to extra rigorous testing during the 1988 Olympics. Prince Alexandre de Merode, chairman of the IOC's Medical Commission, later stated, "We performed all possible and imaginable analyses on her. We never found anything. There should not be the slightest suspicion." The parallels between Daly and FloJo are striking. Both showed dominant performances across multiple events, both broke barriers at young ages, and both have inspired comparisons to the greatest sprinters in history. However, Daly benefits from early recognition and modern support systems that weren't available during FloJo's era, when the sprinting legend often had to work as a bank teller or styling hair and nails to support her family between competitions. These performances carry significant implications for track and field. Daly's success is inspiring the next generation of athletes and raising the bar for youth athletics. Her potential impact on women's sprinting could be transformative. The key question becomes how to nurture such exceptional talent while managing the pressure and expectations that come with early success. Cameron Daly has accomplished something remarkable: 2 world records in 5 days at age 13. Her 11.39-second 100-meter and 22.92-second 200-meter performances combined with her 51.67-second 400-meter national record represent a level of versatility and speed rarely seen at any age. The track world is watching, coaches are paying attention, and Olympic speculation has begun. What do you think? Whether Cameron Daly becomes the next FloJo or forges her own unique path? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing track and field content.
Another quick time from Bayanda Walaza. Such a talent. The next generation of sprinting. He rounded down to 9.94, so a new personal best for Walaza.
A 19-year-old just did something so fast, so shocking, it left the world speechless. He ran 100 meters in only 9.94 seconds. How did Bayanda Walaza, a teen with a wild running style, beat records no one thought he could touch? What happens next might change sprinting forever. Sports Park Mladost became the stage for something extraordinary. The 19-year-old South African sensation crossed the finish line in 9.94 seconds, breaking his previous national U20 record of 9.99 set just 2 months earlier in Pretoria. The performance sent shockwaves through the athletics community. Track and field has entered a new era. Teenagers no longer wait for their turn on the biggest stages. They're seizing them and performing incredibly well, leaving experienced athletes behind. Arion Knighton destroyed Usain Bolt's U18 200-meter record as a teenager. He now competes consistently at the highest senior level. Australia's Gout Gout turns heads with remarkable performances on the national stage. This surge of youthful excellence has fundamentally reshaped global sprinting. Evolving training methods and greater access to specialized coaching from earlier ages fuel this transformation. Bayanda Walaza stands at the forefront of this, making his own mark on the sport. Walaza's journey began taking shape in early 2023. At the Athletic South Africa U18 Championships, he showcased his skills by winning the national 200-meter title and securing silver in the 100-meter. These performances signaled his dominance across short distances. The early months of 2024 saw continued momentum building. In March, at the South Africa U20 Championships, he secured the 100-meter title with a personal best of 10.13 seconds. These performances firmly established him as a leading figure in South African sprinting at both junior and senior levels. The pinnacle of Wallace's career arrived with the 2000